City Underground, your music, your station. You're now tuned in with Killa Age Radio. I'm your girl, Fire Rose, chilling with the lovely Hannah Darling.
Hey guys, hey.
And we have the official bad boy of the 80s, John Cappas.
How you doing, girls?
Okay, so today we welcome the bad boys of the 80s, like Miss Fire Rose just said, Mr. John Cappas. John is now and always has been a great business owner, and I'm glad to know him personally. Mr. John Cappas, ladies and gentlemen.
How you guys doing?
Hello, Johnny. Thank you for coming down today to Windy City Underground for this interview. It brings me great pleasure to introduce one of my good friends to my show, to our listeners on the show. Johnny is the most reliable stand-up guy that has always treated me with utmost respect, and I love him. Now, Johnny, we read the book. We love it. Even though you have told me stories about the trouble you used to get into, this book tops every one of those stories. So, from the MCC Chicago to the trial, to which you were facing 45 years in the pen, to El Reno, to spending years in Lewisburg Penitentiary, from being a black belt to a runner, basically, in a 1980s drug kingpin in the south side of Chicago, to being Chef Boyardee prison, to a love business owner in the south suburbs of Chicago. Now, how does all this make you feel? Because you have accomplished so much, and did you ever know you were capable of doing this, or?
I always had confidence in myself. I'm relieved to be where I'm at today from where I was, if that's what you're getting at.
Yes, definitely. Awesome. Well, what made you start talking to all the kids of all ages and trying to better their life? Not trying to sound rude, but why would you even care?
Well, I felt, I got out, I was given a second chance at life, and I think I owe it to society to give back my experiences. If I could help a few kids steer away from the life I lived, it'd do society a great favor.
Nice. Now, do you still do martial arts to this day?
I'm still in shape, I still run, I still hit the bag once in a while.
Can you break boards?
Still, yes, of course. Not as fast as I used to, but I'm still pretty good.
All right, well, what was one of the hardest things that you had to go through in the 15 years and 2 months you were incarcerated for, and why?
Well, if I had to say what it was, what time frame, it was probably the time I spent in segregation, which is 24-hour lockdown. A friend of mine was going to trial he was going to testify against a cop that killed one of our friends. And they had a separation on him, so no one else could be in the population with him because it was a big case. He was just in the newspapers that Steve Manning, the cop that had the torture chamber, he was going to kidnap the owner of Polecats, and he ended up kidnapping one of our friends and killing him. So, it's harder than you think to be in total isolation for 24 hours a day, and then for a duration of 7 months. And, some of the people you get locked up with, they're crazy or whatever. It was just a time of my life when I'm waiting to go back to get resentenced to see if the life sentence is going to come off me, and I was forced to live in segregation. But I made it. Mentally, I'm strong.
Right. And now, is that what one of your biggest concerns in there was, like your mental, stability in there?
Well, the biggest concern any prisoner has to face is: are they going to come home with a stable mind? Is bitterness going to overcome them? Are they going to get out and think that everybody owes them something because they were locked up? And you just got to constantly remind yourself that you were the one that broke the law. And of course, when you get out, you got to make good on that. And, you get a couple strikes against you. You're a felon. Not too many people want to give you a job or a second chance. But if you put your mind to it, you pick up a marketable skill like I did. I was in the cooking school. You get out, you re-enter society, and you show people that, hey, you're not a knucklehead, that you could fit back in, and people will accept you back, give you a second chance.
Right. That's awesome. All right, well, what song do we got up next, Fire Rose?
We got this King Louie, Bands Up.
All right, we're going to play this King Louie real fast, and then we'll be right back here on WindyCityUnderground.com. Your music, your station. Stick it back. We're going to have Johnny Cappas here live.
WCUG is now on TuneIn. Download the app, tune in on your smartphone, search for Windy City Underground, and hear us 24/7. The TuneIn app is free for both Androids and iPhones, so don't miss a minute of your favorite station. You can search Windy City Underground on TuneIn or follow us on Instagram at WindyCityUG. and hit the link in our bio. This is your music, your station.
And welcome back to Killa Age Radio, guys. We're here with me, Hannah Darling, and we got Fire Rose. We got our boy Enrique Resendez in the building. He is filming right now live. It will be on YouTube later on this week. And we also got the great Johnny Cappas, bad boy of the 80s. Now, back to our interview. So, you were bouncing around to a lot of penitentiaries. Which one was the toughest?
Hands down, USP Lewisburg.
Okay, and now why was it the toughest? Or can you tell us a story? What happened? Something.
Number one, it's a level 6, and that's the first stop I went to. I had 45 years. It doesn't have fences. It had 30-foot walls and gun towers, so it's like the worst of the worst go there. Like if you assault a cop in prison, you're going to Lewisburg. You get a life sentence, you're going to Lewisburg. So for me, I'll give you an example. Here I am, little white boy from Catholic school going into the penitentiary. I had no clue what was in store for me.
Gotta shout out to Marist.
That's right, Marist High School. Yeah. So it was good. I had a martial arts background. I wrestled, I boxed. I was a street fighter. And the first weekend, they're like, hey, I meet these guys. They're like, a lot of guys got killed here, and I thought they were just trying to scare me. So I kind of blew it off. And they're like, you're gonna go to the movie theater. So I'm like, yeah, for sure. I like to go to the movies. So
I read the book, so I know.
So we go to this movie theater. It's like a church cathedral where they got these church pews you were sitting on.
Right.
And there was a movie called Beaches. I'll never forget this. This is like one of my greatest weekend stories. And there's a story about a girl that, her mother's dying, and the best friend is going to adopt the girl, and they're at the coffin. It's kind of sad. So we're like shoulder to shoulder sitting in here, and I hear like somebody's choking on their popcorn. And I look down, and this kid's got a belt wrapped around his throat because the guy behind him is like choking him and pulling him back on the church pew.
Oh my goodness.
And with both hands, he's trying to get the belt off him. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I've never seen anything like this go down before. And then the guy next to him pulls out this shank, which is a knife.
Yeah.
When it's taped to your hand, because when you stab someone, if you get blood on your hand, it slips out. So they take duct tape and they strap it in. That's what they say, strap down, get down, So he just punches a hole right in this guy's chest, like, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this steel, like 12 inches of steel just plunged in this guy's chest. And I'm like, holy cow. Then he does it again. He does like wham 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, what should I do? And I'm like looking for my street sense. And I'm like, well, no one else is moving. I'm not going to move either.
Right.
So then they throw the guy in the aisle. And it's like I'm on one aisle. He's out towards the end of the other aisle. And everybody's just sitting there. And he takes the knife off and he hands it to a guy behind him. And they just keep passing the knife back. And here comes the cops. And they're like, everybody get on your knees. So we're on our knees. You got your hands on your head. This kid's like sitting there with holes in his chest, just bleeding to death.
Oh my goodness.
And they lock us all up. So, we're in the hole, and I got some Cubans in the hole with me. He don't even speak English. I have no idea what's going on. Did the guy die? Are we gonna get indicted for murder? I just got there. I got 45 years. So then they take us to the captain's review, and I'm handcuffed to this chair. And the captain, that runs all the lieutenants, he comes up to me and goes, Cappas, what did you see? And I said, well, it was kind of dark, and I was watching a movie. I thought the guy was just choking on popcorn. Hey, because I'm not gonna, the guys that are sitting right next to me, handcuffed, are right there, and I didn't know what anyone was gonna say, so I just pretended like I'm there by myself. I don't know these guys, and the guy's choking on popcorn. So this captain's like, you effing liar! He's screaming at me. Now my hands are handcuffed.
Right.
The spit is flowing from his mouth to my face. I'm closing my eyes. You piece of shit! He's calling me. You liar! You saw what happened. Who killed this guy? So now the guy next to me is the guy that held the belt around his throat.
Right.
And the guy on the other side is the guy that did the actual stabbing. He already had a life sentence, so he didn't care.
Right.
So he goes like this. He says, hey, listen, let's just end this right now. I stabbed him. It was all me, and nobody did nothing. So if that's not bad enough for a guy to admit a murder, the guy next to me that held the belt around his throat, he goes like this. He goes, wait a minute. I held the belt around the throat. I'm getting some credit for this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm with some real morons here,
Right.
So I go, I gotta get out of here. So then I took off to the law library and I studied the law, and eventually I wrote my own appeal. The lawyers won the first one, and they used my brief and my research to win the second ones because we won on the cocaine and the gun charges.
Right. So that's how you lowered your sentence to,
Yes.
I mean, now you lowered it specifically to 15 years because you got rid of the gun charges?
Here's what happened.
Yes.
Most people lose their appeals in the federal courts because There's a 99% conviction rate at trial. Less than 4% of the people win an appeal without testifying for the government. So the first appeal that we raised was a double jeopardy claim, and we won it on the cocaine. It brought the 30-year sentence down to a range where you could get like 12 to 15.
Right.
I had 3 gun charges, which my lawyers pitched an actual innocence argument. We lost in the first round. In the second round, I showed my lawyers a series of cases that said if they kick down the door in a crack house and there's guns in the basement, bedroom, kitchen, they reversed. They said it's only one charge, multiple guns protecting a drug house. And I'm like, this is the argument. And they're like, no, you can't use that. Your crimes, I had an attempted murder, I had a shooting up a house, I had bribery with a gun in the car. They're like, your stuff happened on different days. I go, it's the same thing. It's the statute says a gun used in a crime gets a separate enhancement. Whoever uses a firearm in a felony. So I ended up putting a brief together. My one lawyer said, I don't think this is going to work. The other guy goes, let me take a shot at it, and we won. So I got the guns down from 15 to 5. The cocaine went down from 30 to a range 12.5 to 15, and the judge split the difference with the government. So I got 5 and 14, 19 years. My case is in the law books.
Right.
So it's like the first one was 949 Fed second 1465, the big appeal on the cocaine. The second 29 Fed third 1187 was the appeal on the guns.
Right.
So I'm like the original stand-up guy. I didn't testify against anybody. I didn't go to the grand jury. I didn't do none of that bullshit.
Right.
So I'm out. I did 15 years. I did not bring 30 guys to jail, which I could have. I could have went to the witness protection program.
Oh yeah, just
like
like
a little
the other
girl,
guys did.
and said, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna tell on the whole neighborhood." Yeah, so they
Right.
wanted me to tell on the people from Florida and the people from the city, and I'm like, no, I'm not cut like that.
Right.
Well, do you have any like harsh feelings like towards the people who did like testify against you?
You know what? Most of the guys that broke down were weak. Some of the guys that testified, they made up stories, and they really tried to make me seem ugly, And I'm like, that was uncalled for. And if I seen a guy like that, would I go out of my way to do anything? No.
Right.
I mean, if a guy came up to me and he was going to apologize, I'd probably take his apology and say, look at this piece of shit. He saved his own ass, he lied on me. But I mean,
Right.
Now I got more important things.
Exactly.
Right.
I got a business, and I'm trying to grow the business, so I don't even think about
Shout out
those
your
people.
business real fast. For
Johnny's Weenie Wagon, 159th and Pulaski since 1955.
Yep. I know, it's so good too. His pizza, there's a pizza called The Rustler. It's my favorite. He makes like, 6 different kinds?
Yeah.
And The Rustler's my favorite. It's all meat. It's bacon, Italian beef, sausage, and pepperoni.
Well,
And it's
I'm
delicious.
taking me a trip on up over there.
It's a garlic crust too.
Yeah.
Oh my
seasoned
God.
garlic butter crust.
It's so delicious. Okay, so do you ever think about starting your clothing line again?
Well, I took on this project. I needed a dining room because I got a successful restaurant in the summer. I said, we have to have a dining room. People are not going to sit at a bench and look out the window. It's like a pick up and go. Wasn't it? Chicago's Best was there yesterday, and it was on pickup joints. And I feel that if I had a place where people could sit down across the table from one another, the food's good, the price is right, serve them some draft beer and wine, and make it like a home run in sort of atmosphere for
Right.
pizza. I think the place would do a lot better because we don't have a dinner clientele. We don't have a place where you could sit down and meet and have a date or business meeting or whatever. So it's going to bring in a whole new area. And after I get this done, and I'm almost done, they're doing the heating and air this week, the drains around the building, and then I got some finished carpentry. I want to go back to speaking, and I've got this Spartan Warrior wear, these t-shirts with these slogans that just like fit me to a T. And I'd probably sell them at the restaurant because I want to do a bottle of wine, like a Spartan Warrior wine, with lemon flavor with the little, the bottles dressed up like a Spartan Warrior. So, it's a couple things I'm going to come out with, but not when my plate's so full right now.
Right.
So would you expand the menu when you get your
His menu's huge
dine-in?
already. His menu
I'm going to
is
leave the
huge.
Weenie Wagon the way
You
it
should
is.
see it, literally. He's got how many flavors of ice cream? He's got so many flavors of ice cream, you can't even name
Yeah,
them
we got
all.
custard ice cream. We got 60
It's
flavors.
so delicious. So delicious. I always get the almond chocolate, the chocolate almond, I should say.
So we got pizza in the new building. It's called the OK Corral. The pizza and the barbecue is going to be showcased, and that's what Chicago's Best was there for yesterday. Was the pulled pork, the Wild Bill, we call it the sandwich, like a Western name, and then the regular Weenie Wagon food is going to be served there, and we're going to have a lobby that's connecting to the new building, the old building, with a canvas canopy. So if you sit down, you're a Weenie Wagon customer, you can sit in the dining room. I've got a bar that's 100 years old. It was in the first Woolworth on Clark Street. We're going to bring that in. We're gonna have a Western look, and I think it's gonna do well.
Now, do you cook at your restaurant yourself?
I sure do.
You,
I had 7
okay.
years in culinary school when I was away, so I know what I'm doing.
Okay, that's real good.
He's got his masters. He has his masters in culinary.
I got a culinary degree. I graduated from Fox Valley. I entered culinary competition. I won gold medals.
Really?
And then after I graduated, I stayed for like 5 years. I was an instructor, and I made them read textbooks. I gave them tests, gave them demonstrations. So I like to cook. It's it's a lot of fun.
You should teach a class.
If I had the time, I would.
All right, well, we're going to hit this song really quick, and Firo's going to tell us what song we got on next. And then when we come back, we got a few more questions for Johnny, and then he's going to have to go. He's got a long day ahead of him, just as always. So, turning it to you, Firos.
Up next, we got this Bobby Smurda. WindyCityUnderground.com, your music, your station. And we're back with Hannah and John Cappas.
You are listening to Killa Age Radio on WindyCityUnderground.com. And we are here, me and Firos are here every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Now,
Check us out.
Yeah, check us out everywhere. Like, find us on Facebook. I'm going to make a Twitter soon enough. My Facebook, though, go like it. It's Killa Age Radio. Now, you went through a lot. Oh, a whole hell of a lot, I should say. Now, in that 15-year period of you being incarcerated, was there ever a moment that you wanted to give up?
No, never. It's not in my blood to give up. My bloodline goes back to Sparta, where my father's from. And if you saw the movie 300, you'll understand. We don't give up.
Right.
We don't take a step back. We always move forward.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're in the studio with me today, and I'm thankful that he took the time out of his day. He's a very busy person. So now that you have the weenie wagon, and now you're going to open up the OK Corral, which is a dining room for the wagon, what other things can we expect for the OK Corral?
Well, the OK Corral is going to be like my place where a lot of things start. You know, like hopefully we're going to get this wine line off the ground, and I will sell the clothing, you know, some of the t-shirts. I got some pretty cool OK Corral shirts. And, you know,
I'm going to get me one of those.
Yeah, and then I got to go back into the speaking. You know, I'd really like, you know, to go out there and tell everybody my story, and maybe people can learn from it.
Now, are you thinking about making this book, the book Tall Money, into a movie?
Well, we are pitching it, that's for sure, because, I mean, who would not want to see themselves on the big screen? So, you know, getting the book done, getting people interested in writing it was a bitch.
Yeah.
And the movie's going to be a bigger bitch. But yeah. I hope I'm going to get a documentary done. We're working on that. And after that, it should be a lot easier to pitch it for a movie once there's a documentary. So there's a couple of very powerful people that are looking at it right now, and we're hoping it makes it.
That's awesome.
Well, I hope you call me the star, the main girl. You know what I'm saying? Got them good acting skills.
The main girl. I don't know if you want to be heard.
You know, jump off my acting career.
Yeah, right. I was gonna ask you something else. I totally forgot about that because if I rose. Anyway,
but you know, I really do love your story. Like how you transition from being one person and growing into the next person. I feel like that's very important, especially today, since a lot of youth are steered in the wrong direction. You know, they look at this glorious life of like money and dealing drugs and doing this and doing that. And you know, you went through it and you learned from it and you grew and you didn't stop, like you didn't quit. So I think that's a good message. That's really a good story.
You know, when I go speak to kids, I put it to them like this. I'm like, do you know what a kamikaze pilot is? And you know, back in world wars, they give the pilot enough fuel to get to his destination. They tell him, go crash that plane, do this for your country. So a lot of the gangs now are using the youth, the young, misguided youth, promising them the world, and they're sacrificing them like pawns on a chessboard. And at the end of the day, you know, I go into the juvenile detention center and I speak, and I'm like, guys, has anybody stopped by your mother's house and dropped off any money for you? And has anybody dropped off some groceries for your mother? No. And what was the sole purpose of the gang? To sell drugs? You know, there's so much more you could do to life. And I tell them, I said, you know, if you ever go on vacation, and let's just say you go to Acapulco or Cancun, there's no gangs on the corners. There's people from all over the world sitting there sunbathing, doing whatever they're doing, parasailing. And I go, there's a lot more to life than that. So you need your most powerful weapon to be sharp, your mind. You got to tune it up in college. You got to get a marketable skill and use that. And, going to jail and getting a record or getting shot at or killed, like some of my buddies, some of my friends are dead, some of them are in jail for life. That is no fun. Thank God I'm out, because freedom is one of the best things out there we have. We live in a free society. And it's a shame what's going on right now with the terrorism, and we're starting to feel some of our freedom, because of precautionary measures, is going to be eroding. I can't see to live in any other country. It's a great country.
Right.
Exactly. And you know what? It used to be back then, I feel like, when another gang member like shoot a child or do anything like that, it was consequences. Now it's like they do it with no problem. Going back.
It's getting out of hand.
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is, but on a big scale, our government has let our jobs go.
Exactly.
They have let all the manufacturing jobs go down to Mexico and China and all these different little third world countries. And they gave us this premise, NAFTA, and they said, well, we are going to let these people take the factories down there. These people are in turn going to buy goods from us. And all it was big business bribing political people and saying, hey, listen, we let big business have all the profits. Nobody's paying health care, nobody's getting benefits down there. There's no EPA watching what they're doing, polluting, building all these products, and they're shipping back products to this country, and they're making a lot of money. And in this country, if you can't create something and sell it, there's no profit. Right. So we have a service economy now. So now you have an economy that has failed. There's no jobs for the kids. Exactly. And what else is there to do? They're going to go home to their parents. They're going to say, I need some money. I want a car. They watch the rap videos. And they're like, I want to do this, I want to go out, I want to go to the mall. There's no money. Right. Okay, there's no food in the refrigerator sometimes. Right. So the gang is like, come on with us, we got a way to go. And a lot of people fall into that trap. And instead of toughing it out, sticking it out, going to school, get a marketable skill, like going to be a chef. Right. A chef one day might get a job on a nice cruise ship and travel the world. Right. Eat right, and then be able to go run a restaurant when he's done with that. So there is a better way, but the message is not out there. School is like sort of like a square's way to go, but it's not.
See, during the summer, I was over at the Weenie Wagon, actually, and Johnny was telling me, Hannah, you just got to get in school. You just got to get your ass in school. That's all I'm telling you. Get in school. Get in school. And he preached it to me, and here I am at school now. At school now. And I am glad that I actually found this because everybody that I knew was pushing me, and that's all that I could ask for, It's great to know that I actually have people behind me. So
That's true, and also I want to add, like, when they don't pay the teachers and you see all these strikes and things going on, like, we don't put enough emphasis in education. You know what I'm saying? Like, teachers are so overlooked and so underpaid, and like the way that I feel like Chicago is so segregated to the point, like, if you ever ride the red line and you get on downtown, after 35th, there's no more white people on the train. It's solely black people riding from 35th on to 95th. And like up north, they got the best schools, they got these good programs and all the rest of the stuff.
Where the money is.
Exactly. And then now south, you see these black kids, and they're not learning cursive, they're not learning the basics. The teachers don't care.
They don't have to learn cursive now in school.
And that's crazy.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, but education is key though, and I really like the fact that you're involved. You're talking to these kids and you letting them know, like, it really is important, because it's getting harder and harder these days. Associates don't mean nothing now. Everybody want bachelors or masters. They want all that. Like, associates does not matter.
You have to prove that you have a marketable skill.
Exactly.
How are you going to help this guy make more money? Oh, hire me and let me prove my way. And that's it. And if you can't, you're going to be stuck, and whose fault is it at the end of the day?
Now,
Make your own bed and sleep in it.
How many degrees do you have, Johnny?
I've got a bachelor's, I had a double major in psych and business, and I got a culinary degree.
Nice. Nice. Now, being a master's of a culinary, I asked you this earlier, but and you said it was hard, but I need to answer. What's your favorite dish?
Well, to me, to sit down to eat, I'm Greek, but I love pasta for some reason.
Me
so
too.
I'd probably go pick one of my favorites, Italian restaurants, and go have some pasta, like some sort of Parmesan. I like steak too, but I think I'm probably more of a pasta guy. Spaghetti and meatballs, basically.
Oh man, tell me about it.
Yeah, not too hard to please, you know.
So now, what all got exactly seized from the cops?
Well,
I should say what was it, the DEA?
The DEA, when they came after me, got my home, I had 3 businesses, speedboat, 5 cars. I almost lost $1 million in one day. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow. I'm telling my lawyer, what's going on? You know, and he's like, John, you know, you made this stuff selling drugs. You know, it's not yours, you know, according to the government. Right. So it was a big eye opener. Right. You know, how slick you are. You know, we're listening to the police scanners. We had cops helping us evade arrest. And at the end of the day, you know, people are like, he's a drug dealer. He sells drugs. Right. And then they just come after you and, you know, the world crumbles around you. So you're building a shaky foundation. Right. Big home on a shaky foundation. Right. It's like a house of cards. The wind's going to come, blow you right over. Right. Was it hard? You know what was hard? Did you want to just like punch a wall? Well, you know what? I got more upset about anything. I had 3 solid black shepherds. They were like kids to me. Losing the dogs when they came after me. You know, I went down to Florida. I didn't know if I was going to run or if I was going to stick around, go to trial. I'm supposed to go to Greece. My mother's begging me, don't go to Greece. We're going to get you great lawyers, please. I don't want to lose you. I got so upset when my father gave my dogs away. Your mom is so sweet, by the way. Thank you. I had solid black German shepherds. They were attack trained because they were kidnapping guys like me back then. And oh my God, tears rolled down my face. My dad goes, I had to give them dogs away. I cannot control that. The Duke was attack trained by Mac Hoyt's House of Hoyt Doberman, where the dogs robbed the bank with the whistles. I mean, he really was sharp. And he just didn't want to listen to anybody but me, you know? So that, I still want to get black shepherds. I'm going to get them again. Yeah, I know. Always on your Facebook. This summer it's going to happen. This summer you got a lot of things going on. Yeah, huh? I know it. It's going to happen.
So a busy man.
He definitely is. So when do you suppose the OK Corral is going to be opened up?
Well, we're going to do the heating and air this week. They already started. Right. It's about 7 days, 10-day install, and then I got a couple weeks of finished carpentry. They're going to do the drains around the building the same time they're doing the heating and air. I honestly think in about a month I'm going to be asking for an occupancy permit. The city's going to come in. They're going to say, okay, this is okay, but this is not. So I want to say, I'd love to say a month, probably a month and a half.
Okay, you know. Now am I still going to work the front door for you?
Yeah. You're going to have to be a bouncer. Hey,
I could do that. I got no problem. You just call me and we will get some things handled.
Exactly.
Now with your busy schedule, let's talk about your love life.
I have none. I know.
she wants to know.
No, but it wouldn't be fair to a girl. I went out with this girl. And I'm like, you know, we close the restaurant at 8:30 on Saturday nights. I walk out at 9, take a shower, it's 10 o'clock. I said, I could probably go have a drink. And then I started seeing this girl every Saturday. She was a real nice girl. Another girl introduced me to her. And then one day she just calls me up. She goes, it's not enough. Saturday nights are not enough. We have to stop there. And I'm like, I can't give you the time. Right. So I've told a lot of nice girls and a lot of friends to try to introduce me to girls. I was like, listen, when the construction's over and I could breathe a little bit, I'll try to figure something out. But it's hard owning a business, having construction to deal with, and everything else going on. It's like, when do you have time? I get home, I get there at 9 in the morning. I work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, get a 2-hour break, and I work 7 days a week. So there's just not time for a girl in my life right now. Right. I got to get this done. Everything I got's in this dining room, and I cannot fail. So I can't have anything sidetrack me.
Right. Anything sidetracking you, and that's a big deal.
Exactly.
Well, because this is a big business, actually. I mean, it's been around since 1955. And, I mean, the whole thing is awesome. Every time I got food from there, it's always good. It's always fresh. And I love it. And that's why I continue going there, only because I know Johnny, first of all. Second of all, I love the service because half the girls that you hire I kind of know, and then the guys, of course, I know. So, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to walk into a business and feel humble.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's what I was trying to get to. Whenever I go into Johnny's, I always feel like I'm home, kind of like, you know what I mean? And so for the OK Corral, I just can't wait till it opens.
Oh, me too.
You know, I can't wait to walk through those doors and feel that same feeling, and then I'm be like, Johnny has it, man. Johnny has it. It's gonna be so exciting.
We're getting close.
All right, well, we're gonna play this song, and then we will come back and we will say goodbye to everybody. So, what song we playing, Rose?
We gonna play this Lil Reese, Us.
All right, we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. and welcome back to Killa Age Radio on WindyCityUnderground.com. I'm your girl Hannah Darling. I'm here with Fire Rose. We got Enrique in the building, and we got Mr. John Cappas. Now, I am so thankful that you chose to do this interview with me, and I thank you. But I want to let my listeners know where they could find you. So let them give the address, whatever you want.
Oh, Johnny's Weenie Wagon is on the corner of 159th and Pulaski, right next to the Mobil gas station. It's been there since 1955. I'm always there during lunch. So that's a good place to start. You could find my book at the restaurant. We sell it there. It's $20. We throw in a hot dog special, 2 hot dogs, fries, and a drink. Or you could go on Amazon.com and just search Tall Money, and you'll see it there also if you can't take a ride to the south side.
Right. His book, Tall Money, you guys got to get on it. It's awesome. He's got the OK Corral opening up hopefully in a month and a half. We're hoping, because I've been waiting for this. I've known Johnny for, I think, six or 7 years by now. And I am so glad to see him transition into a great, great business owner and having good food, because everybody loves good food.
That's right.
You know? Everybody loves good food. So you guys, it's been a great show. Fire Rose, you got anything left to say to these lovely listeners?
Yes, I do. So every Wednesday, you guys, Killa Age Radio from 4 to 5. Check us out. Also go on Facebook and like the page, Killa Age Radio. And check me out, your girl Fire Rose, at firerose.wordpress.com. DUI videos will be coming up soon, shot by your own Enrique. So hit me up, FireRose, FYEREROSE.wordpress.com, and the YouTube will be up shortly. So coming up next will be Trado and Sierra C. Real Profound present. See you guys next week.
Yes, guys. Now you guys can find me, Hannah Darling, on hannahdarlingblog.wordpress.com. I also do have a YouTube page. We're going to put this up. I'm going to make a Killa Age YouTube page so we could specifically film and put this up on our page. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, Twitter, my Twitter handle is @HannahX22. I have an Instagram, it's hannah.darling.xo. You can follow me, get all my life information on that stuff, guys. And it has been a great show. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys, or will hear you guys next week from 4 to 5, and every Wednesday after that on Killa Age Radio. It's WindyCityUnderground.com, people. Your music, your station. See you guys.